surprised if in 5-10 years from now we start seeing people going to rehab for phone addictions.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about iPad kids because of a recent experience that I had in my life that is picture perfect to what we're going to see today. I feel like almost everyone knows that this is actively a bad thing that's happening, but I guess the parents just don't care at all. As long as they're sedated and not giving me a problem, they could stare at a screen as long as they want. We have a ton of examples to go over today and a lot of different topics that this branches off into, along with some comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's just start off with one that you're probably expecting, the meltdowns because of no more screen time.
No iPad. But I want you can't have the iPad. No.
So unfortunately, I could probably sit here for an hour straight and just show you compilation after compilation of the exact same thing happening over and over again. Now, I think there's a few things to speak about in relation to these types of clips. The first one right off the bat is similar to a comment here. The fact that you just sat there with a couple emojis, which meant that the parent was just sitting there recording their child have the meltdown instead of doing something. Again, this could branch off to many topics. If your kid's having a temper tantrum and your first thought is to record this and put it out for everyone to see, I mean, what am I supposed to say about that? You have other parents using their children as content for any social media platform you could think of. We could talk about the kid YouTubers later, but we'll just keep going with some of these comments. Why is my kid falling behind so much in school while blaming teachers? When a good portion of your parenting is just giving your kid an iPad, letting them watch anything and everything they can, they end up blaming the teachers because they're not excelling in school. It's so bad for their development. I don't know why we're not openly judging iPad parents with 152,000 likes. Wow. And for the love of God, don't call these kids spoiled or blame them. Screens are extremely addictive and they don't know any other alternative. It's 100% the parents' fault. It's not like any of these kids went out to Best Buy and bought their iPads themselves. Their parents ended up making this choice, and on top of it, not limiting their screen time makes the whole situation worse. An entire generation ruined in early childhood because of parents who don't want to deal with their kids being difficult. Another experience here, we had an iPad for our son for a big trip that we did. Let me tell you, we got rid of that thing the moment we got home because good Lord, whoever that was, it wasn't my kid. We have a comment from one of you guys, as dramatic as it sounds, these parents are creating literal monsters. And there's a whole slew of, I guess, relatable or supposed to be funny TikToks that are all up on screen now because they just use copyrighted music. Everyone judging me for having an iPad kid, but the whole restaurant is eating in peace. You're welcome. As every single child is glued to the screen, not paying attention, no conversation. Again, most likely developing issues in their most important growth period, social problems as well. But as you could see what's up on screen, one of the comment sections that was turned off from one of these videos, you could clearly see how people feel about this. And I mean, here's another one at the airport. Before you judge parents for giving their kids iPads, consider the alternatives where they're just running wild. So that's the only two options you have as a parent. I guess you can't control them at all. God forbid you have to parent them.
Hey, stop shaming parents about screen time, okay?
Screen time has been correlated to delayed fine motor skills, to delayed language skills, and delayed social emotional skills. Fine motor skills are delayed because they only know how to point. You'd be surprised how these iPad kids don't even know what to do with pencils, crayons, or markers. It's truly a tragedy to watch. And additionally, they don't have language because they just watch a screen. They don't communicate or practice saying words, which is why you see these kids with delayed language skills and often have behaviors because they don't engage with similar age children and they don't have the language to talk about their wants and needs because they don't have that social interaction because they're always on a screen.
I have somebody in my family who is raising an iPad kid, and during those growth years, he was watching some sort of Australian YouTuber. And because of that, while he was starting to learn how to speak, he was developing a slightly Australian accent when we live in the US. I can say at least as soon as they started seeing the noticeable difference, they took the iPad away, and the accent started to go away as well, but still can be a very dangerous thing, especially in your early learning years. And this kind of stuff is only really ramping up from here. We got multiple screens at a time now.
Why do you need two screens?
Because I can't watch YouTube on this one.
Why do you need to be so overstimulated that you need to watch 2 things at once, though?
I don't. I just like watching 2 things at once.
You're crazy, dude.
Thank you.
Again, this is not a one-off video. This is pretty common because there are so many devices in everybody's houses now. So you got to be playing Roblox or Minecraft or Fortnite while also watching some sort of YouTuber play a completely different game. And we could start going specifically into the types of videos these kids are watching. The biggest example that everybody knows is, of course, Mr. Beast, the most subscribed YouTube channel on this website. We could take a look at one of the timelines from a single Mr. Beast video to show you how many different sound effects and camera angles and all the editing and overstimulation that goes into the types of videos that are being watched by these kids.
Oh my god. This is the timeline for a Mr. Beast video. All the video editors know what this is, and they know how much work it takes to make something like this happen. This is NBA level editing. Like, whatever videos that you're editing on your own and you're taking hours to do is nothing in comparison to this. Dear God. You would think that they're editing a Marvel movie, but this is a Mr. Beast timeline for the video. Would you risk drowning for $500,000? The editing nowadays in Mr. Beast videos is crazy. He adds a lot of VFX and sound effects and camera changes and stuff. When you see a Mr. Beast video, it's literally optimized for the algorithm, bro. This probably took days of non-stop editing. This cannot have been done by one person. You need a team for this. It just goes to show you the difference between a smaller creator and a bigger creator. Let me show one of my timelines real quick. Look at this, bro. When I edit, I think I'm doing all this work because I'm doing all of these cuts, when in reality, it's really levels to this.
So I don't think the problem is how long it took to edit. He's got entire teams that go over this. And again, he's not the only one. He's the biggest example, but all of the clone types of channels that basically make the same content are all like this. And the guy said that this is optimized for the algorithm, which means it retains the audience. So it has all the sound effects and the camera changes, constantly stimulating the kids watching because they have such a short attention span. But we could start talking about some of the other kid YouTubers that are very popular with the younger generation because they're the same age and they can relate. I mean, one of the biggest ones is Ryan's Toy World, but there definitely is a dark side to all of this.
Do you remember that famous kids toy channel that got 2 billion views on a video?
The one that reviewed toys?
Yeah, that one.
I do, yeah. Oh, they're still uploading videos. Nope. This feels really wrong.
Wait, what feels wrong?
Well, he's older now, and they are still making him play with toys every day.
Oh, I'm surprised they haven't replaced him with like a younger sibling or something.
They are. Actually, I think they had another one just to take over the channel.
Wow. Okay. Wasn't there another channel with like the father and 2 daughters?
Oh yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. Let's see. Child endangerment.
Wow. There's gotta be one channel out there that isn't treating their kid like an ATM.
Not a single one.
So we could go into the comment section and there are a whole bunch of examples people are saying. Ryan's World, Trinity and Beyond, Vlad and Nikki. I've never heard of any of them other than Ryan's World. And the only reason I know them is they were bringing in billions of views from just reviewing toys, and a lot of issues, like they said, with child endangerment, using them for profit. It really starts getting messed up the more you look into it. And if these same kids start growing up a little bit more, you could see how much they change and develop and get influenced by what they're watching online. There's a clip up on screen right now. My sister at 12 years old in 2025 with kind of all the overconsumption core, the makeup for, again, 12 years old, and just a photo of what the original creator looked like at 12 years old. It is a completely different world now. But I do agree with the comments. It really is that phone with over 700,000 likes. Why are they dressing up like they're 25? Because we're watching influencers as entertainment from when they're literally toddlers. You guys are delusional if you think phones don't influence this. A girl who's 12 wouldn't know chunky hoops and slick back buns and clean girl makeup is in style if she didn't have a phone. We have another clip up on screen right now. Me last summer when I broke my phone and only had an iPad for 2 weeks, bringing this giant thing around anywhere and everywhere because they couldn't go without a device at all. Wait, I've been using my iPad for 8 months because my phone still broken. This is me right now. I wish there was some way to mark this video and actually watch it 10 years from now because I guarantee this is going to be a huge problem.
Call me crazy if you'd like, but I wouldn't be surprised if in 5-10 years from now we start seeing people going to rehab for phone addictions.
This is truly for all ages, but is going to be even worse with each generation being born because of how much technology influences their life at a younger and younger age. The comments don't make it much better. I mean, can I sign up now? I often have the same thought. Another comment from one of you guys, Steve Jobs would never allow his kids to own phones or iPads, and that's a big tell if you ask me. Now I know it seems extremely hypocritical to be making videos looking at TikToks while on another social media platform, and even with all the negativity this technology brings, I've still talked about the positivity of having phones, even going on TikTok. If you know anything about my main channel, it's primarily centered around finances, and everything that I know today is because of the internet, because of YouTube videos. I never went to school for finances. I looked everything up myself, watching other finance YouTubers, learning. So I'm not trying to be the 80-year-old boomer saying that everybody needs to throw out their phones and never use the internet again and go back to newspapers and blah, blah, blah. But people end up taking this too far, making it their entire life, getting addicted, using it as a substitute to actually parenting their children. And then we start seeing a whole bunch of problems popping up like we are now. So this next clip is a skit, but is the reasoning for me making this video in the first place, because I saw exactly this in real life. Okay, so you guys get the gist. But recently I was at a doctor's office in the waiting room where a couple of parents gave their kid an iPhone and did almost exactly this while sitting on the chair playing something at full volume, no headphones, in a dead quiet waiting room while the kid was actively sick, coughing out loud, not covering their mouth or anything, and nothing was done by the parents at all. It's like they didn't care that the kid was coughing in a place where people are most likely sick, didn't care about the volume to other people as well. It's not like I was the only other person in the waiting room. And then they're surprised why there's so much negativity and judgment from other people. We have another comment with an experience from you guys. My cousin does this with his kids. The kids are horrible. I can't even stand to be around them. It's sad, really, because I want to spend time with them as a family, but it just makes it dreadful. There are several people in my family that are the exact same thing. I feel like almost everybody has somebody in their family that does this. And those same parents still know that it's a bad thing, but instead of actually fixing it and making the whole situation better, they'll just try to make relatable TikToks for some attention online. POV, you swore you wouldn't have iPad kids, yet here you are plugging in all of these devices. When you swore you never let your kids have tablets while eating at a restaurant, and then POV, your child gets an Apple iPad and this is how she takes it out of the box, right off the bat. Again, whose fault is this? You bought it and you know immediately that this child is not going to take care of it, doesn't know how expensive it is, immediately just flips it out of the box, and will just turn into another one of the kids that we see in this video. There's even more examples like this. This is what we mean by this generation is full of iPad kids, as they're on an open Safari, and this kid doesn't care at all. He's playing more iPad games. Another one that's supposed to be relatable, I'm having so much fun with you at Disneyland, and the kid does not care. He wants to have his headphones in an iPad screen, let alone the cost of going to Disney in the first place. Is this really supposed to be okay? These are going to be the same parents on wondering why their kid becomes the weird one. They're not doing well in school. They have learning problems. They have social problems. I mean, it kind of looks straightforward to me, and we could get even darker with this situation. When there's no restrictions on these devices and you're not monitoring, you could see the type of apparent games that these children are playing. I mean, this kind of stuff is just unbelievable. We have a screenshot right here too. Watch your kid's iPad with a video of the mother scrolling through a chain of texts, but we could read the description. He's only 6 years old, and yes, we watch what they do, but he was so excited that he told me he was texting someone within 5 minutes of me seeing him play a game. So I took the iPad and started writing them myself. I don't know how real it is, but it's scary. At least one of the positive notes for this example is that this ended up being AI. It wasn't a real person. But if you want to do your own research, go look up similar examples that happen on Discord with kids. Same thing with a lot of the video game Minecraft YouTubers. A lot of them end up turning out to be PDF files, preying upon their own fan bases, which of course end up being mostly children. But we could transition over to the teachers and what they're seeing in the classroom and why we're seeing so many of them quit.
A former English teacher going viral after posting a raw and unfiltered farewell video as she leaves the classroom behind after just 3 years. Listen.
A lot of these kids don't know how to read because they have had things read to them, or they can click a button and have something read out loud to them. I just don't think these kids even care. They don't care about making a difference in the world. They don't care about how to have a resume. They don't care how to write a resume. They don't care how to write a cover letter because ChatGPT will just do it for them. And I think that we need to cut off technology from these kids probably until they go to college.
And I think we're just way too late for that, unfortunately. A while ago, I made a video specifically going over teachers quitting because of all of these reasons, and it doesn't really show any signs of stopping. Now, I do want to say, of course, I'm harping on the younger generation because they're getting influenced more than anybody else older than them, but it doesn't mean that all of us are addicted at the end of the day. We have a clip up on screen. The old generation will never change, where it shows a whole bunch of kids in a restaurant, and it pans over to their parents and grandparents just being frozen in time, all looking at their phones. So this is happening all across the board. I do believe it's even more dangerous the younger they're introduced to this type of technology, but this is really happening to everybody now. We could look at a couple of the comments. The worst part is that they're not able to respond to your question when they're on their phones. No multitasking skills whatsoever. I think that statement's pretty true. It's like the whole world freezes. It's very odd. I've seen it in public. They'll stop in place as well. Pretty dangerous, to be honest. I have to call them at least twice and louder because they can't hear. The flashlight is somehow on too. The second you pull out your phone, it's disrespectful. So that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.